This is your top 60 and 60 watch list as Hans and Scotty get you ready for the start of the 2025 college football season by highlighting the most influential players on their team for the upcoming season. And now,
get the call, baby! Come on, let's go!
Here's today's newest addition to the watch list.
It is your top 60 and 60 watch list right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We had a couple Aggies back-to-back. Well, time to go back to Provo with a wide receiver.
Jojo Phillips is fast, athletic, he's tall and long, and you combine that with the ability to go get the ball. You can see that he can make big plays on deep routes, but it's all the other things that he does well, too. He's a great route runner. Fessie's done a great job with him, bringing him along, and I think he's due for a breakout year. But his ability to run routes clean and catch it, he had a great spring ball. Just looking forward to the things that he can do for us with more reps and more opportunities to cut and more catches coming his way. But he's willing to do all the little things too. He's had experience with us with special teams, and then the things that he does as a blocker has been really impressive too. So he did that in the bowl game and got really physical with Heisman Trophy winner Travis Hunter, and he's up for any challenge, and he's fortunate to have a big body and a lot of strength to back it up. So he's got a lot of things going for him as a receiver, and it's not just limited to him catching the ball.
Awesome stuff by Kalani. Kalani's going into detail on these guys, Scotty.
I know. I love it. Absolutely love it.
So Jojo Phillips, he played in 6 games last year and went for nearly 300 yards in 6 games. He had 2 touchdowns, and you heard Kalani talking about his body. He's 6'5". I would give him a true 6'4", and he's probably more 215, 220-ish. He's a big kid, and he's got that long, really long stride. I would compare his body to like a Ross Apple. Now, Ross never hit the peak of what he probably should when he was at BYU because he had a shoulder that came out every time he raised his hand above his head.
Yeah.
So just dealt kind of a bad hand. But Jojo Phillips, healthy, big, very young, and he's working in a Fessy Satake offense. Fessy Satake last year, I thought he was masterful at getting Keelan Marion where he needed to be, getting Chase Roberts where he needed to be, getting Parker Kingston where he needed to be. Now you rotate in. You get Jojo Phillips, and you get a Parker Kingston, and you get a Chase Roberts back, and you start to build these guys out. But Jojo, I'm expecting a 700-yard season.
Wow.
A 700-yard plus. Now, you get worried because you're like, well, who's even going to be throwing him a pass?
That's the question.
Right. If it was Jake Retzlaff, I could almost guarantee you a minimum of 600 off Jojo. But, you look at a quarterback situation and you're like, because what happens with young quarterbacks? They get in, like, let's say it's McKay Hillstead. They get in and they start week 1 of camp and they know that this competition's really tight. So what they do is they find their target. Because they feel like, okay, yeah, right, I got to get ready for a game. I got to win this job. And I got to win this job in the next 3 weeks of this camp. I'm not going to sit here and run distribution. I'm going to sit here and run connection. And Parker Kingston is always open. So I'm going to get it to Parker Kingston. And, they start to think about their competition instead of think about the game. And sometimes you can get vision issues and you can get tunnel vision and then you build relationships with 1 or 2 receivers that you just try to push it to because you're desperate. That's why I love a veteran quarterback. They don't care what your name is. They don't care where you're at on the field. They read a safety, they read a coverage, they read a press, and they throw the route. Whether you catch it or not, that's up to you. But they throw the right route, not to the receiver that's going to make them famous.
Yeah.
And so I worry about that a little bit when I'm looking at new quarterback development. I do have some concerns with that with McKay Hillstead. I'm hoping that he can be more versatile. I still feel like it's his job.
I do too.
And so, Jojo Phillips is going to have to build that chemistry, but yeah, I would say a 700-yard season is very much in the cards for a Jojo Phillips.
It felt like last year Jake Retzloff, now Chase Roberts is great, but I think he elevated that receiver group. This year I think the receiver group's going to have to elevate the quarterback.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
And that's going to be on the receivers to lift up a quarterback that could struggle out of the gate.
You're absolutely right, and there were two 700-yard plus receivers on this roster last year. You lose one of them in Darius Lassiter. You return one of them in Chase Roberts. I'm going to go to Chase Roberts and Jojo Phillips and Parker Kingston. By the way, Jojo Phillips had more yardage than Parker Kingston.
In 6 games.
Yeah. There might be a lot of people that are like, oh, Parker, because you get the name off the returns. He had a couple return for touchdowns, and you're like, and he's still going to be a great returner. I need more out of Parker. I need him to be a high usage. I'm not asking for him to be a Britton Covey usage. But he should be open. And if he can't get open, then make the change. But I expect him to be open.